Another charge that is often leveled at Islam is that it was spread violently by the sword. This allegation is completely unfounded, and indeed nothing could be further from the truth. All of the wars fought during the life of the Holy Prophet, peace and blessing of Allah be upon him, and the four rightly guided caliphs who succeeded him were entirely defensive in nature, where war had been forced upon them. And even where war had been forced upon them, upon the Muslims, they still sought to protect and respect the revered places of other religions and their respected figures.
Assalamu Alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. This video is in response to the false allegation of ex-Muslims that Islam was, God forbid, spread by the sword. Nothing could be further from the truth. I asked them, if they make this claim, then who converted those who are using the sword? Just look at the lives of the beloved companions of Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They faced the most horrific types of persecution. Because of their acceptance of Islam, the companions were stoned, they were put on fiery coals, laid naked, they were injured badly, their feet would be drenched in blood for Islam, people would sit on them on hot grounds till they burned, their sons and wives were kidnapped, their properties were taken away. It was as if they had lost everything. So which sword made these beloved companions of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam accept Islam? It was the sword of love and not any sort of violence. The companions loved Islam with all their lives and found contentment and comfort in the most perfect faith.
Mirza Nasir Ahmed, you are the supreme head of the Ahmadiyya movement. Which part does the movement play within the Islam?
The movement plays this part. We believe that the Mahdi has come to create the conditions of peace in this world. We believe in equality of human beings, in the rule of law, and we are against all types of oppression.
And how do you conduct your mission in Europe?
We try to win the hearts.
A metal sword cannot bring a revolution nor change anyone's heart. However, the character of our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam changed the hearts and he brought a revolution. A sword brings about hatred and hypocrisy. However, when we look at the lives of the companions, we see that they sacrificed everything for Islam. Take a look at the Battle of Uhud. Many companions were injured. Abu Sufyan was going to Mecca and was claiming he defeated the Muslims and won the battle. The people replied that you have not gained anything. No ransom, no slaves, nor have you killed their prophet. Where is your proof? He then got the suggestion that Muslims are badly injured and that it was a good opportunity to attack Medina in order to finish Islam. When this news reached Medina, the Prophet ﷺ came out right away and said that only those would participate in this battle who participated in the Battle of Uhud. Those Sahaba were badly injured. They could hardly walk. Despite this, not a single companion complained, rather all of them got up at the command of our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This was the love the companions had for the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the perfect religion of Islam. Two brothers were badly injured and instead of giving up, they decided to take turns carrying each other to help the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We do not find such an incident in the history of mankind. Let us look at the earlier battle, the Battle of Badr. What was the situation in this battle? The disbelieving party had 1,000 soldiers ready for war, and all of the soldiers were well equipped with metal swords. 700 people had metal armor which would protect them. They had 100 horses. During those days, if a warrior had a horse, he would never lose to a warrior without a horse. How about the companions of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Most of them had nothing. They hardly had clothing. Where would they get swords from? A few Sahaba had equipment. Hardly any warriors were present in the Muslim army. They had people who worked in markets, some sellers, and some others as well. However, they were not warriors. Together, they were 313 in number. Could such a small army defeat such a strong and fierce opponent? It was something not possible except with the help of God. Even the opponents of Islam say that this was a miracle and say it seemed as if the companions were going for suicide, not war. In the war, they heard that Abu Jahl has a lot of power. The Prophet ﷺ asked the companions what the plan should be. A companion would get up and say, "We will fight one by one." The one who requested to fight had no shirt, no sword, nothing in his hand. This was their love for Islam, which is not found anywhere. Was such love in their hearts from the sword? It is not possible. If it was spread by the sword, they would hate Islam and be happy and betray the Muslims in such a situation. The beloved companions of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ told him that, "O Prophet of Allah, we will not do what the people of Moses did to him." As they said that, "O Moses, you and your Lord can fight while we will remain behind and wait for the victory." The companions of the Prophet ﷺ said that, "O Prophet of Allah, we will fight on your right and your left, from in front of you and from behind you." This was their love for the beautiful religion of Islam. Allah states there is no compulsion in religion. Chapter 2 verse 257. Allah states that to spread Islam, we have to call people through good exhortation and wisdom. Chapter 16, verse 126. Look at the power the Prophet ﷺ had in Mecca. When he entered with an army of 10,000, he had the strength to force people to convert to Islam, but never did he or any of his companions do this. He taught that everyone can practice their religion freely. The country with the most Muslims today is Indonesia, and Indonesians accepted Islam through dialogue with Muslim men. The second largest country is India, which is not even a Muslim country and has a Hindu majority. In Europe, Islam is the fastest growing religion, but never was a sword used. The ex-Muslim misrepresented facts. He gave false information about the Prophet and his Khulafa. He misquoted a Sunni scholar as well. In short, the companions only fought in self-defense, and those who wanted to wipe out the Muslims and were already planning against them. Hazrat Ahmad alayhi salam, the promised Messiah and Imam Mahdi, stated, "No true Muslim has ever believed that Islam should be spread by the sword. Islam has always been propagated through its inherent qualities. Those who, calling themselves Muslims, seek to spread Islam by means of the sword are not aware of its inherent qualities, and their conduct resembles the conduct of wild beasts." The promised Messiah ﷺ stated, "The Quran clearly commands not to raise the sword in order to spread Islam, and that the innate qualities of the religion should be presented and that others should be attracted through pious models. Do not think that in the early days of Islam, use of the sword was commanded, because the sword was never wielded to spread religion. Quite the contrary, it was drawn in self-defense against enemy attacks or in order to establish peace. Compulsion in faith was never the objective." I end this video with a beautiful quote of Hazrat Mirza Tahir Ahmad, may Allah be pleased with him, who stated, "Swords can win territories, but not hearts. Forces can bend heads, but not minds. May Allah guide all ex-Muslims back to Islam and also guide those who hate Islam to the true Islam of Ahmadiyya and enable them to accept the Imam of the age and pledge allegiance to the Khalifa of Islam. Ameen.
صل على سفينا صل على محمد بلغ العلا بكماله كشف الدجى بجماله